Yes, okay. So once again, welcome and good evening to everybody. This is our third educational Zoom. We have our regular traditional middle class express, which is the life coaching portion. We have been challenged due to COVID-19 and we haven't been able to meet personal, but our Zooms have allowed us to be able to reach a broader community. And so with that, this is part 2 of our health matters. We did one previously with our life coaching group that talked about mental health. Today we're going to be talking about physical health and healthy lifestyle and healthy eating. The recordings is for our purpose and for those who are attending to be able to go back and digest. That's a great word for us to use tonight. Digest all of this great nutritious information that you will be receiving. And this goes along with any of our other groups. So we've had finance, and we are looking forward to hosting another finance group as we are planning to deal with our current situation of COVID-19, but ours is sustainable. We are looking how to move way beyond COVID-19. We're looking at building better, healthier futures. And in that, everything revolves around our attitude and our mindset. We focus a lot through our life coaching class to focus heavily on your finances as well as your health needs. So we can have all the money in the world, but if our health is not intact, we will not live long enough to enjoy the fruits of our labor. And if we do not have our finances intact, the stress of lack of funds, lack of resources can also play a heavy burden on our physical and mental health. So because of that, all of the pieces in between, whether it's you want to purchase a home, whether it is you want to had someone, right, they would like to get married. That is a goal of theirs. They have the education, they have all these things. But in between all of these great 5-year plans that families and individuals are putting together, your bookmarkers, your bookends must be your finances and your health. And your health is your physical and your physical and your mental health. These are things that we choose sometimes not to discuss. We gain weight and we blame it simply on the ho-hos. While the ho-hos play a huge part, why are we eating certain things? Why are we consuming at 12 o'clock at night? It has a lot to do with the stress that many of us are under. We use our food as a comfort. So we're going to be talking about that. We have our health nutritionist coach with us, Ms. Yolanda McMillan, who I will be doing a little bit more introductions with. But right now, we just want to zoom through just a few things before she takes over. And of course, now I got to click and figure out how I'm working this. Oh, there we go. So now that I cannot see my screen, let me move this over just a little bit. So the objective tonight is to increase the awareness of the importance of healthy mind, body, and soul in coaching. Focus on personal health and wellness, strengths and needs, and then find the motivation needed to complete the plan in order to achieve its goals. And I actually need to make sure I'm keeping track of, here we go, all right. And I apologize, I'm trying to multitask here. So healthy body equals a healthy mind. What you put in your body is what affects your mind. What we eat affects our attitude and our mindset. While some of that comfort food feels really good temporarily, the lasting effects of it starts to take a toll on our overall well-being. Now, the question, how are you feeling? Many of us don't take the time to do a self-check-in. Sometimes we believe that if no one ever says, if no one ever asks, if no one ever said good morning to you, does it mean it's a bad morning? If no one ever said bless you after you sneezed, does it mean that the mucus didn't come out? These are things that we have to start doing to help prepare ourselves. So every day, you really need to check in with yourself. It's great to check in. I can call Yolanda and I can vent. I can say to Yolanda, you know, I'm having a really rough time. And I am truly blessed that I actually have a circle. I have a very supportive circle. Sometimes you may have to go out of your comfort zone to find someone that can be a part of your comfort zone to help you be a part of your circle. Okay? So if no one is around you, you have to ask yourself every day, how is Vielka feeling? How is Manuela feeling? How is Sherry feeling? And you have to be honest with yourself. And when you say, I don't know, you actually do know. When you can say to yourself, I really today, I'm not feeling my best. I just told Yolanda yesterday, after a long, heavy weekend, not only are we in the midst of a pandemic, we are encompassed on top of that of racial tension. On top of that, we who work in this field are frontline. We are working hand in hand with our community, and we're seeing a lot of things that are heavy. Then I had some personal trauma and disappointments. My daughter-in-law's uncle died from COVID. And just knowing how the difference of a person who is here in the United States and all the resources we have, our family is overseas, and seeing the difference of how that played out. You know, he passed at 10 in the morning and they had to decide whether to bury him immediately that day, go straight to the hospital, to the gravesite. No, let's wait. Or have his ashes returned to you in a couple of days. These are emotions that you're having to think on your feet. And that starts to take a toll on your physical, your mental. And then I could have honestly said yesterday, no, I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling there, I'm functioning, but what was my day emotionally like? Didn't really eat well. What I ate definitely was not healthy. And had it not been for my circle encouraging me to log off, Kristen actually offered to, so I wouldn't even have to check the news. I said, I'm not going to check social media. I'm not going to do any of that. I just need to check the weather. And to show you how when you have a good circle, she even offered to check the weather for me. Because what happens is when you pick this thing up to check the weather, you're going to check everything else. So going back and asking yourself, how are you feeling? You have to be willing to be honest with your feelings. If you're angry, say you're angry. If you're hurt, say you're hurt. If you're confused, delusional, whatever it is, it starts with you being honest and then seeking the assistance to help you move from that place. Okay? So next, I'm going to show this quick, and I hope it plays. And this is going to segue. Can you guys hear that?
How long does the food stay in your stomach? Do you find yourself still hungry no matter how much or how often you eat? If so, you might be eating foods that are too high on the glycemic index. The glycema what? I know, sounds complicated. It's basically how long it takes your body to digest different foods, and it's definitely something worth knowing if you're struggling with an insatiable appetite and excess weight. So, you ready to stop overeating, start having more energy throughout the day, and watch the weight melt off just by changing your diet? Well, just stay tuned. And don't forget that we have all kinds of helpful information like this here on The Bright Side of Life. So hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of all our daily uploads. Alright, now let's cover the basics. The glycemic index is a system of values given to foods according to how quickly they cause an increase in blood glucose levels. To put that in layman's terms, it basically measures how fast different foods are digested by the body. You see, glucose is a simple sugar that gives your body energy, and you get it from the foods you eat. Your blood is what carries this sugar throughout your body to all your hungry cells and tissues. That's why it's called blood glucose. If you eat something that's high on the index, your blood glucose will spike, giving you a fast boost of energy. Yeah, sign me up. Whoa, wait a second. It's not as cool as it sounds because this energy boost is short-lived and almost always followed by a crash. Like Isaac Newton said, what goes up must come down. That energy rush you get is a result of the food being digested quickly. Once that process is done, your fuel tank gets empty real fast. That means you'll be feeling hungry again sooner than you know it and heading right back to the fridge. In a nutshell, if you're eating lots of these fast digesting foods, you may find that you're eating way more than you should. Now, I'm not saying that the kitchen isn't my favorite place in the house, because it certainly is. But of course, we all know the main problem when it comes to spending too much time there. Getting into that vicious cycle of overeating high glycemic foods almost always leads to weight gain. Plus, since these foods have so much glucose in them, your body takes what it needs and then stores the rest as fat. Well, not unless you're one of those lucky people that eat what you want and don't gain an ounce. Anyway, as for the rest of us, added weight comes with health risks like cardiovascular disease, kidney failure, and diabetes. So it's better to avoid these foods or consume them in moderation. On the flip side, foods that are low on the index release glucose, aka fuel for your body, in a slow and steady manner. And since these foods are metabolized slowly, they take a while to leave your digestive system, which means you feel full for longer and won't need to constantly overeat just to keep your body going. But the glycemic index is a bit more complex than just high and low. Foods and drinks are actually split into 3 groups: low, medium, and high. Low items rate from 1 to 55, medium is from 56 to 69, and high items are from 70 and above. If you're not sure about a certain food, you can always look up its glycemic value on the internet. Now that you know all the technicalities and terminology, let's just see how different foods rate on the scale. Number 1. Foods that digest slowly, low glycemic value. Vegetables like green leafy veggies, boiled or raw carrots, vegetable soups, and plantains. Most fruits, such as raw apples, oranges, mangoes, canned peaches, apple juice, and orange juice. Foods with complex carbs, which include whole grain breads, flatbread, barley, sweet corn, spaghetti, oatmeal, and noodles. Dairy, that's whole milk, skim milk, and yogurt. Nuts and legumes like cashews, peanuts, chickpeas, and most beans. Number 2, foods that digest moderately, a medium glycemic value. Vegetables like sweet potatoes and pumpkins. Fruits that include bananas, dates, kiwi, pineapple, and watermelon. Moderate carbs, such as boiled brown rice and couscous. Cereals, which include wheat flake biscuits and muesli. Honey, sodas, popcorn, and potato chips also make this list. Number 3, foods that digest quickly, high glycemic value. Vegetables like instant mashed potatoes and boiled potatoes. Simple carb foods, that's white bread and white rice. Cereals such as rice porridge and instant oatmeal. According to the experts at Bodytomy, some low glycemic foods like cooked vegetables or a salad can remain in your stomach anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. That doesn't seem very slow, especially when you compare it to more glycemic potatoes, which take your stomach up to 2 hours to fully digest, but only end up spiking your blood sugar and giving you a short-lived boost of energy. Your stomach needs even more time, up to 3 hours, to break down low glycemic nuts. So you see, these foods can sit in your belly for different amounts of time, but it's the good low glycemic foods that keep your body energized for longer. There are also foods that don't really have a glycemic index value since they don't contain any carbs, but they can still take a while to be digested by your stomach. It can take you anywhere from 2 to 5 hours for your stomach to digest meats like chicken, lamb, and pork. Seafood and fish, such as salmon, trout, and tuna, usually leave the stomach after about 40 minutes to an hour. Eggs, cheese, oils, and herbs also have a glycemic index of 0 and get broken up by your gut pretty quickly. But fast digestion doesn't mean you'll be hungry soon. These foods are full of nutrients that your body needs. You might still be wondering, what about my favorite foods like pizza and burgers? The case for pizza is an interesting one. If you're having pizza that's just dough, cheese, and sauce, that might rate high on the glycemic index, mostly because of that dough. But believe it or not, adding toppings actually makes your slice healthier. A deluxe-style pizza with all the toppings can reduce glucose levels because the protein and fats in the toppings will slow down the process of breaking the food down into glucose. So go ahead and throw some mushrooms, bell pepper, and onions on your pizza. Not only will it taste better, it'll also keep you full for much longer. Just don't fall into the trap of thinking all low glycemic foods must be healthy. You might encounter foods that will be low on the index, but if they're processed, they most likely still contain tons of saturated fats, sugar, and empty calories. Take cheeseburgers, for instance. They rate pretty low on the glycemic scale, but this doesn't mean that big greasy burger is going to provide you with long-lasting energy or help you lose weight. You still need to be mindful of the nutritional value of foods, which the glycemic index doesn't tell you. For example, whole milk has a low glycemic value, but it's also high in fat, so it won't be suitable for weight loss. Plus, since low glycemic foods digest more slowly, if you eat only these types, you risk overworking your digestive system. Everything's about balance, you know? Also, keep in mind that the exact time it takes you to metabolize the foods we've mentioned today will also depend on your physical health, age, gender, activity level, and the general state of your digestive system. Now that you've learned all there is to know about digestion time for different kinds of foods, are you consuming low or high glycemic products? Will you change your diet after watching this video? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your
So I am going to now, as we're taking a look at foods and our digestion system and mental health and how things affect the way we eat and what we eat, I'm going to now turn it over to Yolanda, who, you know, it's dark behind you, sweetie. Can you see? Got any more lighting? I'm gonna unmute her.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I have every light on in my house. So I'm not sure.
There you go. There you go. It got better. And let there be light. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi guys. How are you? Oh yeah, we're okay. I'm Yolanda McMillan, and I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about healthy eating. And what I wanted to start off with is the fact that this is a class that's for those that are simply trying to eat better. So if you're on a special diet that your physician put you on or your healthcare provider put you on, you stick with that. This information is just simply designed for those that simply want to try to eat a little bit healthier, okay? So with that, if you have, does everybody have pen and paper in front of them? Yes, I need some head shakes. Okay, okay, great. If you could write down everything that you ate, let's do today, everything that you ate today, starting with your breakfast. So if you ate breakfast, that's great. By eating breakfast, you're kicking off your metabolism, which is basically going to help you process your food a little bit better. As we age, particularly for women, if we don't eat breakfast, we're slowing down our metabolism, because as Bianca was showing us with the video about foods that we digest quicker or digest slower, if we're not eating anything, we are kind of enhancing that even more if we're not eating anything, because you're not giving your body anything to digest. So your metabolism slows because it's trying to meter out enough energy for you to be able to get through the morning. So breakfast means break the fast, because when we're sleeping, in essence, we're fasting. So you need to eat something to kick that off. So how many of you, by raising your hand, how many of you ate breakfast today? Great, awesome. And remember, it doesn't have to be the true Southern breakfast. It doesn't have to be the grits or eggs or pancakes. You know, it can be a boiled egg. It can be one scrambled egg. It could be a bowl of oatmeal. It could be some fruit, you know. So, and again, thinking about that high glycemic versus low glycemic, you know, you can combine some of those things. You can make a smoothie with a little bit of veggies in it to kind of give you some energy to get you to 12 o'clock. And you could add some fruit in there, and you can mix it up, and that's going to get you through the morning without having to snack on something unhealthy like Bojangles. So just by preparing some of those things beforehand, we can avoid overeating, or we can avoid making an unhealthy choice. So has everybody had enough time to write something down? So unmute yourself, or if you can unmute them, Bianca. So what did you have for breakfast? Suzanne, if I can call on you, what did you have for breakfast?
Had whole grain cereal with peach and blueberries and almonds and an iced coffee. No, a hot coffee.
A hot coffee. Cream and sugar?
With stevia and half and half.
Oh, awesome. And the reason why I asked her that is because we're getting a whole lot of empty calories in what we drink. So if, you know, for people, and also going back to what Bianca said too about trying to save a little bit of money, those expensive drinks from Starbucks and even the bottle kind, the Frappuccinos and things like that, they're really expensive, and they have a lot of empty calories because they have a lot of sugar, and they're just generally unhealthy for us. And particularly the bottle ones, because we don't know what's in there, you know, with all the different chemicals and everything, preservatives and everything. So if you do, because like me, if you like coffee, you want to try to limit your sugars and just try to cut back a little at a time. You know, if you're used to drinking a coffee with 4 or 5 sugars, if you stop that in the middle, you're going to miss that. But just kind of drop down gradually to where if you can get it to where you're drinking it without sugar, great. Or if, you know, the same thing, you don't want to put a bunch of stevia in it or equal in it, because your body's going to mimic that same response if you keep doing that. It'll have the same response as it does with sugar. So you just want to try to cut down on all of those sweeteners in general. So what do we have for lunch? What kinds of things do we have for lunch?
I had a salad. I had well, it was kind of like brunch because it was closer to evening. I didn't really eat, but so I had a spring mix. My salad is spring mix with baby carrots, with cucumbers and the little Roma tomatoes. And I cut up a spicy chicken patty in it. And I sprinkled the salad toppings with the seeds and the little bacon bits.
Okay.
And I think it was the triple cheese and herb croutons.
Okay. Because I stepped away.
Well, aren't you just all fancy over there?
Away. I'm trying to see if it's gonna come back.
Gotta lose this weight, Maria.
I don't know what happens, Bianca, why it gets dark. Is it? I don't know. But anyway, I stepped away because I wanted to show you my dinner. This is my dinner. I don't normally buy the bag salad because it's more expensive, but it was on sale. So that is going to be my dinner. And I have a little bit of rolled up chicken that I'm going to put on it. And that's going to be my dinner. So yeah, so just as Bianca was saying, like the vegetables like that with cucumber, with mixed greens and things like that can give you more staying power. So that was a great choice for your, what'd you say, brunch? I'm trying to make the light come back up because it did something when I stepped forward. But
yes.
So the other thing I wanted to mention about choosing more veggies for your lunch is because the more vegetables we eat, the better it is for us in terms of the fat content. So all meat products have fat. So it doesn't matter if it's chicken, which is light, versus ham, which is light, versus a pork or a beef, which may be heavy. It still all has fat. Some have lesser degrees than others, but it still has fat. So you want to watch. You want to try to eat less meat and more vegetables. So a salad is a great way to do that. You also want to increase your serving size of fruits and vegetables and avoid more serving sizes of meat. So it's not to say you can't have meat. You just want to watch. You just want to watch how much you have. I have, if you can see that, a serving size of meat. You think it's the light behind me that's doing it? I think that helps. Does that help? No.
No.
So, well, that made it worse. Okay. So, okay. Let's see. It keeps going up and down.
Yeah, it'll come back in.
Okay. So you have a serving size of meat, and you can see that's about the size of the palm of my hand. And so again, it doesn't mean that you only have one. I'm just showing you what a serving size looks so that when you have 5 of these, you can see how you overeat. And you may not have 5 chicken breasts, but if you have a chicken breast, like a fried chicken breast, as well as like the whole half chicken, quarter chicken, you can see how that is more than that serving size of 1. If you have that half chicken, quarter chicken that you get sometimes in a restaurant, it could be, depending on the size of the chicken, it could be as large as 3.5 or at least 2.5 servings. So you definitely want to try to limit it if you're trying to watch what you eat. What do we have for dinner? Because it's a little bit past dinner time. So what kinds of things do we have for dinner?
I had everything that was left in the fridge. And it was mostly all vegetables. I had, what was it? Spinach, broccoli. I had some, how do you say that? Stir fry vegetables.
Oh, okay.
I did have a piece of red snapper I made yesterday on the grill. And I've been nitpicking a lot this evening just because my Zoom meetings have been going back to back. So I did not have a balance. It was balanced its way out throughout the day, but it was not a complete balance. So it has been little pieces of everything. My nuts have been sustaining me most of the day, but usually I try to have, and I did have we make coconut rice and peas. So I did have a scoop of that was left back. So
okay.
I had to go grocery shopping, so I cleared out the refrigerator.
And I'm glad you said that, Bianca. You said it wasn't balanced for today, but just because we get off track for the day doesn't mean we can just, we just have to give up. So if you get off track for that day, just kind of restart, and you can restart on that day, or you can restart the next day. And if you have to restart the day after that, just do that. I mean, because it doesn't necessarily mean that because we're all going to make an unhealthy choice from time to time. So it doesn't mean that you just have to give up. So in terms of your snacks, what kinds of things did you guys have, or did you have snacks today? So can you hear me, Susan? I said, what kind of snacks did you have? You're on mute. Okay.
What kind of snacks we had? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Triscuits and cheese.
Okay, Triscuits and cheese. That's a good one because that's a whole wheat. So, and the cheese is a dairy, so that's good. Anybody else? Have some different snacks.
I had a bad snack today. Krispy Kreme was giving away free donuts, so I had donuts.
He had a bad snack today. Yeah, that's dangerous when the hot sun comes on. But yeah, so things like, if you could see this, things like almonds. So I have the lightly salted almonds. And a lot of people now are doing their own, where they buy the raw almonds and they may toast them themselves and then just sprinkle a little bit of salt on them for themselves, or no salt. So you can make your own snacks. Things like graham crackers is another snack that's not, it's, you can get like a lower sugar. I don't get it with the sugar on it, but a graham cracker with a little bit of cheese is also a good snack. It has a hint of sweetness. Of course, you have your fruit. This is a peach, if you can see that. So you want to make your snack a healthy choice, you know, because as Bianca was saying, if you're choosing things like chips, Doritos, Cheetos, anything out of the vending machine, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be a snack that's going to give you any kind of staying power. It's just going to be a quick, as the video said, a quick high, and then you're going to crash, and then you're still going to want something to eat. So it's better just to choose a snack like nuts or peanuts, almonds, fruit, cheese. So the cheese sticks, you can choose those. So you want to try to choose something that's going to give you some nutrition. So you don't want it to just be something that's junk food or just all sugar. You want it to have it be a healthy choice that's going to give you some benefit and not just fill you up. The other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit, and I hate that my camera's not working right because, guys, well, okay, you can see that. So this is a portion plate. And the thing about the portion plate is it gives you a real good idea of, there it is. It gives you a real good idea of what your serving size should look like. So it shows that you have half your plate should be fruit and vegetables. And oh, thank you, Bianca.
There you go.
So half your plate should be fruits and vegetables. You should have some whole grains and a healthy protein. And a healthy protein starts would be something that's not fried. You want to maybe broil or bake or grill whatever particular meat that you have. You don't want to just, you know, constantly fry it. So you want to try to choose a healthier protein like a chicken. And remember, pork can be healthy too, as long as it's not overly seasoned. And so you want to try to season with more herbs instead of all these different kinds of salts, onion salt, garlic salt. Remember, if it has salt in it, it's salt. So salt is salt is salt. It doesn't matter if it's sea salt. It doesn't matter if it's pink Himalayan salt. It's still salt. So try to avoid those things and try to cook with more herbs and things like that. So to give it some kind of taste. Even add in a little heat like jalapenos or some other kind of something that's going to give it kind of a bite to give it some flavor without adding a lot of salt. But the other thing about the portion plate is it's smaller. So just by eating off of a smaller plate, you kind of trick your body into thinking that you've had more food than you really had. So, because when we tend to get a big plate, what do we want to do? Who said that?
I did.
And what did you say? We want to do what?
Fill it up.
Fill it up, exactly. If you're going to a restaurant, you're looking to get your money's worth. You want to fill it up. So you want to choose a healthier, you want to choose a smaller plate and try to control those portion sizes and stick to half your plate being fruits and vegetables. Because remember, choosing less protein or less meat rather, because some proteins can be fine, but choosing less meat is going to lower your fat intake automatically. Eating more fruits and vegetables, depending on how you cook them, because you don't want to soak them in grease and fat and everything and call it healthy. So you want to, again, same thing with your meat that you do have. You want to do the same thing with your vegetables. You want to season with more herbs, more, things like garlic, things like Mrs. Dash, which is a no salt. So you want to try to choose things that are going to keep it healthy. You don't want to start out with a bunch of vegetables and then just season them with salt and meat fat, and then it's just as bad as you eating meat. So does that make sense, everybody? Some head shakes, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk a little bit about, going back to the plate, is the portion size. Like I already told you that your serving size for your meat is about the size of the palm of your hand without your fingers. The serving size for your fruits and vegetables is about a cup to a half a cup. So again, that's what a serving size looks like. It doesn't mean that you can't have more than one, just giving you an idea of what it looks like. So how many servings of fruits and vegetables should we have in a day?
Is it 5 to 6?
It's actually 12 to 13.
Wow.
We say 5 to 6 because we're trying to get people to at least hit that. Because for some people it could be difficult for them, because that's a lot of food, really. But if you are eating mostly fruits and vegetables, you can hit 5 or 6 easy. But if you are a meat eater, or if you're really not trying very hard, you can have absolutely none. So the way you have absolutely none is you get up in the morning and you fry an egg. So you eat your egg and you eat your bread, no fruits or vegetables. Okay, so for lunch, you decide to grab a burger and fries. Well, yes, fries are vegetables, potatoes are vegetables, but if you dip them in fat and salt, you've really kind of taken away the health aspect of those potatoes. Okay, so for dinner, I think I'll have spaghetti and meatballs. Okay, so it's 6 o'clock now, and I haven't seen anything green all day, except maybe the lettuce that was on the hamburger. Or if you had, lettuce on a sandwich or whatever. So if you're not trying, you can miss out on the opportunity to eat these fruits and vegetables throughout the day. Now, on the flip side, what you could do is you get up in the morning, you make your smoothie, you add spinach to it. So that's 2 to 3, maybe even 4, depending on what you make. For lunch, you have, instead of a heavy pasta, you have a light salad. So maybe that's 2 more. So you've already had 5 and it's not even 12 o'clock. So if you try, you can achieve that 13 really easy. But if you're not, you can miss out on that opportunity to add more fruits and vegetables throughout your day. Things like adding it to your cereal, like Suzanne did, adding it in smoothies, snacking on it raw, or just, if you snack on carrots or broccoli or celery with peanut butter. So there's ways to add it throughout your day, but you have to be purposeful in doing that. So like I said, in talking about serving sizes, you want to try to stick with that handful, that cupful of fruits and vegetables, meat the size of your hands. A small piece of fruit is a serving. You can see that. A small piece of fruit is a serving. So you want to, particularly if you're trying to cut back, try to stick to those typical serving sizes that we used to talk about with the food pyramid. 2 to 3 servings of fruits and vegetables for your half a plate, a small portion of protein if you choose to have some, a little bit of whole grain, and water. And I'll back up for a second and talk about water, because that's one thing I didn't ask you about with your, what did you eat today? So how many of you had the 6 to 8 8-ounce glasses of water today? And see Bianca shaking her head like, no, I didn't make it today. Okay, good. So the thing
is I didn't drink anything, which is just
as bad.
I'm just getting down 2 of these.
Wow.
Only because you guys are on and you're watching me. So I've been trying to,
So now, is that because you were just so busy?
Yeah, literally. And that's my downfall.
Gotcha.
It's not even, that's not even an excuse, but we get so busy that you forget to eat, you forget to drink your water, you are just moving, and that's just as bad.
Right. I agree. So again, the same thing I said about your portion size, your eating your fruits and vegetables, you have to be purposeful. So starting out with your water in your bag, taking it with you where you go. If you have a refillable cup, bottle, whatever, take that with you, refill it throughout the day. But yeah, if you're not paying attention, if you're not being purposeful about it, yeah, you can look up and you, like you say, Bianca, wow, I haven't had anything to drink today, not even a sweet something. I haven't had anything. So we want to make sure that we're drinking our 6 to 8 ounce glasses of water, because water is helping to do a lot of things. It helps keep things moving, number one. It helps to help with our digestion. Sometimes we can mistake thirst for hunger. And so we may truly be thirsty, but we're snacking and eating as if we were hungry. And it could be because you're just simply dehydrated. So it can help with headaches. It can help with, because sometimes we get headaches when we're dehydrated. So, and it's a better it's a better quencher of thirst than a sweet soda. And the other thing about a soda is that the average 16 ounce, 20 ounce bottle has anywhere from 17 to 13 grams of sugar. If you can you see that?
That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's about that much sugar. If you can see that in the bottle. Can't see it. You can't see it that way. So yeah, it's about that much sugar.
If I remember, if you take the bottle, just imagine a 16 ounce bottle and turn it upside down, a regular bottle. If I remember, Yolanda, the sugar was right above that circle, like that initial. So just think about that much sugar being inside the bottle. Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. And if you're one that drink, like soda is your drink of choice and you drink it throughout the day, the other thing you have to worry about is the sugar is just kind of sitting on your teeth, and it can give you lots of cavities in the back of your teeth if you're a sipper all day. It's better for you to sip on water than it is for you to sip on soda. So it's bad on 2 counts. And then the sugar is not good for if you have diabetes or if you're trying to watch your glycemic intake. So you definitely want to, and it's it's the same thing, not just with sodas, but things like energy drinks. They have sugar. These sweet teas, they have sugar. If you can see that, this is a Nestea bottle. That's about how much sugar is in a Nestea. And the same thing with your coffee in the morning. If you're not using an artificial sweetener like a Splenda or a stevia, if you're still using regular sugar. So if you think about just the things that you drink throughout the day, how many of them contain sugar? Because sugar is one of those things that we really don't need. We would be perfectly fine not consuming sugar at all. So the sugar that we do get 9 times out of 10 is for something that's not really a good nutritional choice. So sugar is really just giving us empty calories. It's not really giving us a whole lot of benefit. So if you think about the things that you eat that are sweet, unnaturally, I'm not talking about the natural sugar that occurs, but I'm talking about the things that are unnaturally sweet that we consume: ice cream, soda, candy, cookies, cake. How much empty calories are we getting from that? Other things I want to tell you guys, just, because of COVID-19 and that we're home, trying to choose healthier snacks. I hate that you guys can't see, it's driving me bananas. But like the popcorn, that's just basically like the Boom Chicka Pop, the Smart Pops. That's a popcorn is a whole grain. It's a carb, but it's also a whole grain. So snacking on it in moderation is fine. The box that I'm holding up, the bag has about 35 calories for a whole bag. So that's a fairly healthy snack. And it doesn't have that much salt in it. So that's the other thing we want to try to avoid. So try to choose healthier snacks. As Bianca said, we're all kind of overstressed with, being stuck in the house, not being able to go out like we normally go out. So we want to tend to kind of gravitate toward those snacks that kind of make us feel good. And like she said, are more comfort snacks and comfort foods. So we want to try to choose things that are healthier: fruit, snacking on cheese, nuts, what else? Instead of going for the sugary drinks, you want to try to drink water. So trying to make that food choice a healthy choice, so that when we do come out of COVID-19, we're not all gaining 15, 20 pounds when we emerge from this, hopefully in September. So I also wanted to mention, and since Bianca kicked us off, are ways to kind of reduce stress, because when we are stressed, we tend to either overeat or we what? We either eat too much or we what?
Or we don't eat at all.
Or we don't eat at all. So when we're stressed, that tends to be what happens, is either we don't eat enough or we eat too much. So if you are stressed during this time, one of the first things you need to do is ask for help. If your circle is small and you feel like you're taxing your friends too much or taxing your relatives too much, reach out to someone else. Get outside. Do something to kind of get out of the situation that you're in. But try to make sure that you're reaching out to people that can help you. Recognize and accept your limits. You know, no is a complete sentence. You know, you don't have to explain, you don't have to give an excuse, you don't have to surmise as to why you can't do one more thing. No is no is no. It's a complete sentence. Learn to be a positive person. How many of you are turning off the news after this week we've had? You know, just by raising your hand. How many of you have just decided, okay, I can't watch this anymore? I see somebody waving down at the bottom, like, yes, that's me. Yeah, you know, we, after a steady diet of a week of this drama, you just got to turn it off and just kind of step back away from it. It's just too much to consume. So you just kind of have to step away for a little bit. Learn to tolerate and forgive. You know, sometimes when we have things that weigh on us, particularly if other people have done things to us or disappointed us or whatever, you know, they may be at home sleeping well and you are up at night worried about it. So you just kind of have to let some of that stuff go and learn to forgive and move on. Avoid unnecessary competition. You know, you can't look at what others have that you don't, or what others are doing that you can't. You know, be happy with where you are and accept for where you are. If you're moving forward, great. But don't, I think someone said, comparison is the thief of joy. So you don't want to take away from what you do have by looking at what someone else has. Get exercise, you know, even if it's just a little bit. For if you've been sedentary for a while, like I said, since we've been stuck in the house, now that it's getting warm again, try to get out, even if it's just for a little bit. Remember, we need 30 minutes a day of exercise. So 30 minutes most days of the week, and most days are most days. It's not 3 to 5, it's most days. So most days would be 6. So you can take Sunday off. So, but we want to make sure that we're getting outside, even if we're going for a quick walk, 15 minutes up and 15 minutes back, that's your 30 minutes. If you want to break it up and do 10 in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, and 10 before you go to bed, that's 30 minutes. It would be better if you did it in a continuous stream, but if you don't, breaking it up is fine. You just want to make sure that you're moving and not being sedentary. Try to change your thinking. Try to reframe your thinking and not just thinking in the negative all the time. And change expectations of yourself and the situation. So don't beat yourself up, you know, just kind of learn to accept where you are. And again, if you're moving forward, great. If you messed up today, tomorrow is another day. So those are just kind of some brief tips on stress. The biggest one that I would say is, if you need help, ask for it. The other thing I want to mention is body mass index. Does everybody know what body mass index is? I know you know, Ms. Lopez. You want to tell them what body mass index is?
I'm gonna let you define it. You're the expert in that, but it's BMI. Yeah.
Body mass index is basically a ratio of your height to your weight. It looks at how tall you are versus how much you weigh. And on a scale, it gives us a number. Now, it's not the greatest indicator of your overall health in terms of your weight, but it does kind of give you a range to kind of say, well, I may need to kind of come a little bit closer to my body mass index. So what we're looking for your number to be is 25. And since you guys are all sitting at the computer, when we log off, if you don't know, I want you to log on to a site that can tell you what your body mass index is. So you simply put in how tall you are in inches, and then put in how much you weigh, and it should calculate that number for you. You're looking for that number to be less than 25. So the higher over 25 as you age, the greater your risk increases of having diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure over a period of time. Now, for some, they may never see body mass index below 25. And so I don't want people to get discouraged like, well, I didn't weigh that in high school and I probably never will weigh that again. My point about body mass index is if it's in the morbidly obese stage, you need to bring it down to a more workable number. So you don't have to hit 25 necessarily, but if you're in the morbidly obese stage, or if your health provider has told you, hey, I really want you to lose weight because you're right there at the borderline of having diabetes, or you're right there at the borderline of having high blood pressure. Particularly if your health provider has told you one of these things, then it's really important for you to try to get it down closer to 25 so that you don't go over into that particular illness or ailment that they're saying that you could if you continue to stay on the same path that you're on. So we simply use it as a way to kind of help us get to a healthier state. Does that make sense? And some head shakes? Yes? Okay. So when we log off, I want you to do that. I don't have the sheet that I can hand to you, but if you look up any website can tell you what your body mass index is. Some other things I wanted to mention are we have a nutritionist on staff. Her name is Megan Malka. And what Megan can do for you is to kind of sit down and have a conversation. If you do want to pursue a healthier lifestyle, she can kind of walk you through what you can do nutritionally to do that. So she can help you, particularly if you have any kind of health situation going on, if you do have diabetes, if you do have high blood pressure, or if you simply just want to try to eat better and want to kind of talk out a plan, she can help you do that. So Vioka has that information from Megan. I think her average time that she can spend with somebody is probably about an hour. So it doesn't take long for you to kind of have a session with her and kind of work out a better plan for you to get on a healthier path. So it's something I would recommend. Again, since we're in COVID, it won't be in person, but it could be even a chat over the phone, or it could be a Zoom chat like this. So Vioka, like I said, has Megan's information. So if you so desire to do that, she welcomes the opportunity to work with you and answer any particular questions that you may have about your diet or even health supplements that you may be taking, trying to pair any kind of plan that you read about, seen, heard, or whatever. She can kind of help you rectify that and help you make a plan to get you on a healthier track. So I'll pause now to see if you guys have questions. My clock. Alexa, what time is it?
Time is 6:59 p.m.
Okay, and so Vioka said we were going to go till 7, so I'll pause and see if you guys have any questions.
So some folks may have questions now, or you may have some questions offline. You're free to always email me directly, but you will be getting a follow-up email and survey from this session. And so and including the video, I will know how to download this video tomorrow and take my computer to the office. But
can you light me up so I'm not just a space?
Yes. But one of the things we want to encourage you is, if you would like to learn more about the health, and I always tell folks, the health and wellness has nothing to do with being skinny or fitting someone's skinny jeans. That has absolutely nothing to do with it. Can you lose weight by eating healthier? Most definitely. Will it allow you to live longer by eating a healthier lifestyle? Most definitely. So we do these health coaching with Megan, and also get you involved in other activities. Prior to COVID, we had folks that would meet in the park and do exercise and walking. We are looking at ways to bring a session someone has requested to do Zumba, where we would all be in the privacy of our home and we can exercise and do things together. And the goal is getting everyone active. Everyone can do something. Yolanda and our health team, Elizabeth, made a video with me. Okay, so let me just ask a disclaimer before you guys even see the video. I am very Panamanian. I was doing salsa. They were actually keeping to the beat of the music, okay? And so it just goes to prove I may not have been on the same steps, but my heart rate was up. I was still doing something. Now, my something did not look like nothing they were doing, but yet I was still doing something, and that's what counts. We have to be willing to do something. And Sherry, I can't wait for Sherry to just tell me when she wants to do it. Sherry does moving and grooving types and exercise and fitness, and we want to welcome that. And that's something that we can all do right where we are in the comfort of our home. If you have stairs in your house, go up and down those stairs. You don't need a gym. Your gym is right there in your house. Best workout, clean your house. I promise you. You will break a sweat, piling up all that stuff that you don't need and taking it to the thrift stores that are now open. So find ways to get active. We are looking some exciting things. We're looking at having a Zoom on gardening. Well, I live in an apartment and I don't have a backyard. If you have a bucket and you have an entranceway, you have a garden. So we're going to do things that get our hands in the soil, and how relaxing that also. Remember, the physical part of the health also has to be matched with the mental part of the health. So again, if there's questions and you're not sure how to phrase it, it's okay. When you meet with Megan, you can ask, and she has help you learn how to journal some things down to keep abreast of your eating. But I am going to go through if anyone has anything or any suggestions of other activities that you would like to see incorporated with our health and wellness, or if you have an activity that's just for fun. Somebody asked me, we're going to be looking at some opportunities for employment. We'll have an employment track, and there's going to be two, one for adults and then one for youth. And I believe the youth is age 16 to 25 or 26. We're going to have things back on mental health. We will have a session coming up, I believe on the 11th, it's a Thursday, talking to families about accessing resources in Wake County Public School. Even if you don't have a child in school right now, you may know someone who has a child in Wake County Public School. I encourage you to log on. If you have no children, don't know anyone, let me tell you why I encourage you to log on. When it comes to election, and there's all these different bonds, and a lot of them are wrapped around the educational system, this is where you also get to make a difference. So the information about the Wake County Public Schools is critical to our community. The link that you use to register for this evening's session has other sessions built in as well. And you are able to click as many as you would like and register, and they will send you updates and information on them. In the email that you will get with this will also include the application for health coaching. So if you are interested in the health coaching, and it is the best part, it's free.
Yeah.
It is free.
Totally
And if
free.
you Google health coach and find out what the value of a health coach, cost of a health coach is, this is completely free. And Megan is absolutely wonderful. I personally have used Megan to help me coach me through. And I'm okay with saying this. This was me dealing with anxiety and depression. And after speaking with Megan, I started identifying some of the things that I was eating really was actually because of my anxiety and my depression. So just knowing that what you are feeding into your body actually opens you up to a whole different world. So I encourage you to take advantage of that. All right.
Absolutely.
Do we have anyone else? Any questions? Comments? All right. And with that,
thank you for your participation. I really appreciate it. I hope some of this was helpful.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Enjoy your evening. And again, we are here for you. Lots more to come. And if no one told you this today, I love you. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Delta. Bye.
Bye-bye. How do you get out of this?
Miss Vioka, I resent you the email.
Yes, I just saw it. And I'm just about to apply to it.
Okay.
And I'm over here trying to save all of our notes. I know I did this before. Lord help me.